Have you ever felt doubtful, unsure of your thoughts and actions after a human interaction? Have you ever felt reluctant to take a course of action but engaged in it, regardless out of fear of what others might think of you? Perhaps you've had your own will take a back seat in favor of the will of others. And if so, doesn't that make you pathetic? This isn't a mistake. Your feelings are nothing but a reflection of your reality, one way or another. The truth is that you might be the victim of manipulation without even knowing it. Human interactions are nothing but power struggles. The smarter you are, the faster you would have noticed that by now. In a world of elusiveness, greed, perversion, and darkness, understanding and preparation is super important if you want to avoid being someone's puppet or start connecting the strings on others. Fortunately for you, you are in the right place at the right time, my friend. I will arm you with the knowledge you need and put you one foot on the path closer to human autonomy. And with this knowledge, you will be not only impossible to manipulate, but also become an expert at pushing those buttons for others. Today, I will expose 8 manipulation methods and how you can take advantage of them. Get ready, because the class is about to start. Method 1: Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulators have a way of getting what they want by distracting you with your own emotions. The bottom line is that emotions like anger, fear, love, sadness, guilt, among others, serve as a distraction or fog. Once the veil of emotion is placed on you, you will never have control of a situation fully. Feel guilt, for example. A friend might ask you to do something that you would otherwise refuse to do, however. Upon your refusal, they respond with disappointment and say something along the lines of, "I thought we were good friends." This is a nasty plot. It guilts you into thinking your actions were nothing but selfish, even if they were not. Fear can make you do the same. By alluding to an unfavorable consequence from a particular course of action that benefits your manipulator, they place their guide as the only viable way. You can avoid this by simply knowing yourself and becoming self-aware of your emotions. Practice writing down every time in the days where you felt a certain strong emotion and analyze why you felt that way. Self-awareness will make you harder to control, freeing you from this form of manipulation. After that, establish your boundaries, be firm in your choices, and leave any guilt from disappointing others of your happiness in their mind behind. Method 2: Fallacious argumentation. Fallacious arguments sound solid only if you don't see a blatant flaw in logic at first glance. They are subtle, elusive, and deceptive. These arguments seem reasonable on the surface, but once you understand their nature, you will be immune to such. For example, an ad hominem fallacy is when a person attacks your character in order to invalidate your point. One could say that your argument about a certain topic is invalid because of your background and education. But notice how the logic of the argument is not actually the one being attacked. Rather, it is the credibility of the source. It takes your focus away from the real issue. The way you can combat these tricks is simply by carefully studying fallacies and learning how to spot them. Once this is done, you will become untouchable while still knowing how they work. Method 3: Gaslighting. This one plays with the sanity, memories, and/or perception of the target, making them doubt their reality. A clear example of this is when someone denies your perception. They might tell you that you only imagine some event in a particular way, or sometimes they won't give any excuse and just forwardly deny your reality. The employer of the trick may also minimize the importance of your experiences and feelings towards a situation, claiming you are blowing it out of proportion. The way you can avoid falling to this trick is simply by trusting your own thoughts and experiences. However, this isn't an excuse to trust your experiences blindly, since you can obviously be wrong. You need to find a way to record your experiences of the day. A note in our phone, a real notebook, or recording will help you keep track of your activities better. This will help your brain maintain information more clearly and can prevent you from being gaslighted. Method 4: Peer or group pressure. Humans are social creatures. We find a way easier time following the steps of the rest of the pack rather than setting our own path. The reason why we do this is because we find security in belonging to the average, and in doing so we follow trends that we don't actually find interesting or beneficial to ourselves. Nobody wants to be the black sheep. Nobody wants to be the odd one out. However, this is a decision you must make if you want to preserve your character and integrity. To combat peer pressure, you must develop enough self-esteem and confidence to understand who you are and what you value is very crucial to win against this trick. I will be making a video on ways to increase your confidence later on, but for now you will have to figure out how to do that at your own human pace. I will show you how to develop godlike confidence, but that will have to wait until the time was right for you. Method 5: Excessive compliments. The human ego is a vulnerable spot, and it isn't difficult to irritate or please either way. When you are being showered with compliments, you need to be aware of yourself and notice that the other person might just be seeking a way to get into your good side in order to further manipulation later. Do not let anyone get in your good graces through cheap fake idolization. They will tell you exactly what you want to hear to lower your defenses and use you. The way you avoid getting played by this is by knowing yourself more than others know you. This one is harder than it seems, because a lot of people have excessive or really small egos and they need to be reminded by others of who they actually are. Sit and think. Look at yourself, understand your strengths and weaknesses. Once you have done this, you will be able to identify cheap flattery masterfully. If you don't have time to do that, then just look for external opinions to know which compliments hold truth. Method 6: Isolation. Be mindful of those who consistently find reasons for you to part ways with your family, or any friends or partners. You are weaker alone, believe it or not. Without the support of your loved ones and friends, you are incomplete and dependent. This tactic is despicable in many ways, but it is easy to avoid falling prey to it. Strengthen your bond with those around you and simply never let yourself be isolated. The manipulator might try to speak ill of others, demanding more time alone with you as isolation tactics. Maintain connections, keep getting outside perspectives, and maintain your boundaries. Method 7: Ultimatums. Be aware of ultimatums. The trick relies on pressuring you into believing there are only the choices you have been given. It generates urgency, limiting your options to what they want. To guard yourself from this, remember that ultimatums are often presented in an extreme manner. If you loved me, you would do this, or if you don't do this, I won't speak to you again, or but a few examples. Ultimatums are just a lack of respect for your needs and boundaries. To fight this tactic, you need to slow down, breathe, and think of the situation. There is no stronger sword against an ultimatum than to know one has been perpetrated. Always remember that you do have time to think it over, and that you are always allowed to rethink your options. Method 8: Sudden change of subject. Straight to the point. There isn't much mystery behind this one and what it does. The reason why it works, however, is very important. If you feel weird about the transition of a conversation, it is likely because it was artificially made. Humans are good at recognizing breaks in patterns, but the reason why this may work is simply because the information exposed to you next is also of some importance, so you jump right into the trap. What? The person you are speaking to is clearly hiding something, and they just don't want you to question them about it. You need to trust your intuition. We are good at noticing these changes, so do not undermine when the change in conversation feels weird. You might be close to finding out something very important. Don't lose focus and move the conversation back to where it should have been to begin with. That's going to be all for today. There are some methods I didn't expose today, but they can definitively be a talking point in the future. And I have given you a lot of power with this knowledge. Use it wisely and remember to take care of others, as I have taken care of you today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But that way you can stay tuned for more revelation on human interaction, dark psychology, and self-actualization. Noops, I will be seeing you soon.